girls the girls would always try to get the attention of lifeguards.
Mm-hmm.
They'd play like they're drowning in the ocean or whatever.
Heather still does that from time to time to get my attention.
I do it. So anyway, this girl comes up to me, she'd done some fake things to try to get my attention before, like dying out there in the ocean. And she comes by and she has this, I've got sand in my eye. I got sand in my eye. Could you take a look at the sand in my eye? I couldn't find sand in her eyes, but anyway. So we talked a little bit, and she said, "Where are you going to school?" And I said, "I'm going to the University of Colorado. I want to be up in the mountains. I want to be alone in the library, and I just want to learn on my own." So I did that. But she comes by and she brings this annual, and she says, I'm from an area that's just perfect for you. It's up in the mountains, not a big campus, but great, beautiful place. She goes for this, and she made me commit to coming by her school before I went to Colorado. She says, right on your way,
Wow.
So she was from Logan, Utah. So I took a train.
Yeah.
And I went up to Logan, Utah. I tell you, it was beautiful. And I look out, and she's right. This is a great place for me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what a Mormon was. Mormons, I didn't even know the name Mormon.
Wow.
And, I didn't have any idea of anything like this,
And had she told you yet that she was a Mormon? Or had she not mentioned it?
No, one time, because I entered the car, we're going down to the beach to have a little fire and so forth. And so I stopped by a liquor store and I buy a 6-pack of beer.
Right.
She said, I can't be in the car with any alcoholic beverages with us. And I thought, boy, she's strange. So I had to take the beer out and put it under a bush out there, and I come back. And but yeah, she was Mormon, and I didn't know it. Even then, I just didn't get into that with her.
That's so interesting.
And I really didn't know that she was a Mormon until I got to Logan, Utah.
Wow.
And I didn't know it there. I was early.
Yeah.
And I'm going to the library. I'm checking out all American poets that I could read, and writing poetry and things, the things like that, that happen when you're young. And I'm really enjoying myself.
Yeah.
And I come out of the library and I walk across the lawn, and this guy's sitting there drinking a bottle of wine and having reading Omar Khayyam and a loaf of bread type of thing. And so he, and this is my kind of place. People who just want to, do their thing.
Yeah.
His name was Don Valentine. He became my roommate.
Oh, really? Wow.
And then he was the one I brought in when I was president of the Colorado Ski Association.
Oh, wow.
And he built Steamboat Springs by himself. Steamboat Springs ski area.
Oh, my goodness.
And Calvin and his wife went there and
they got a chance to meet him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat.
And I talked to him every once in a while. He sold it for $3 million. But he said I made a mistake because I actually went last time for $30 million.
Wow.
But he became my vice president of the Colorado Ski Association. Right? I called him up. He actually lived in all places, New Jersey. And I got him out there to be he used to go skiing every weekend at Alta when he was my roommate. And then one summer, it's Christmas time. We're going to have this vacation, Christmas vacation. And he has this absolutely fantastic car, this Corvette, 1957 Corvette,
Wow.
red, and it's a two-seater type of thing.
Yeah.
And he says, let's go to Squaw Valley, the Olympics are there, California.
Oh, wow.
And I said, well, I'll tell you what, let's go there. But Don, I want you to go with me down to Manhattan Beach, where I grew up. I want to go surfing first.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't get in the water. Then we went up to, my brother was selling some Christmas trees there. He had a Christmas tree lot, in Playa del Rey. So he says, the last 2 days of my Christmas tree lot's going to be open. You guys can run it. You keep all the money.
Yeah.
So Don and I ran it. And then
Wow.
then we went up to San Francisco and then to Squaw Valley.
Wow.
But before we did this, Don says, look, you've got to learn how to ski. I said, I hate skiing. I don't like skiing. Foolish sport. Drive up the road and it's icy roads and you kill yourself. He says, and then you get in lines and you sit on cold chairlifts and then you just get off the chairlift and you crash and this is the stupidest sport in the whole world. I would never want to do this, Don. I said, I did it once.
Yeah.
Because George Gatchell, who swam and dove with me on the swimming team, was from Northern California and he was a skier.
Oh.
And one time he says, Doug, let's go skiing. And I said, what's that? I didn't know what skiing was. I said, okay. He says, I'll take you up and show you how to do it. So I put on my jeans and my coat I had. We go over to Ontario, which is just east of Riverside by San Bernardino.
Nope.
And
I know right where Ontario is.
Then you have a little. I did a job there, by the way, for a construction company.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Saved their lives.
There was a little airport out of Ontario.
Yeah,
I remember from when I lived in California.
I had a company here that built underground utilities,
Mm-hmm.
and I reorganized them here and put in TK. I mean, really. And then they said, we've got a real problem. We've got a problem out in San Bernardino. And I said, well, I'll go out there and solve it for you. So I went out there. And what happened was that the freeway was running over this road.
Mm-hmm.
And under this road was the utility pipeline for San Bernardino.
Oh.
And there was something wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't operating. And also there was a railroad tracks on the just the west of it. And so, what are you going to do about this situation?
Mm-hmm.
And so I met with the San Bernardino people and everything, and we decided the only thing to do is to blast, because someone had put concrete. It had dumped concrete down in these, and dug a hole and so forth. And no one knew it was there.
Right.
And you couldn't get through the concrete. So we finally decided to go underground, blast this thing loose, and dig it out and so forth.
Oh my goodness.
But meantime, San Bernardino had built this big floodplain over near towards what would be Lake Arrowhead, that area up there, and it went down there, and so it was kind of debris basin
Mm-hmm.
for floods.
Oh, wow.
And if it ever really flooded, it would flood out the freeway, it'd flood out the railroad tracks.
Oh, my goodness.
It was really complicated.
Wow.
But anyway, they finally got all of that mess cleared up there. But this was George.
Mm-hmm.
George, let's go to Ontario, and Mount Baldy was called.
Yep. I've been skiing there.